a little bit? Wow. This is probably the hardest thing one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Yeah. Congratulations to Shannon and Bob. When Evan called me, said he wanted to be the first to let me know, I said, I don't know about the other people going in, but y'all must be getting desperate. I just, I live every day the life that I try to lead with my wife Janice and my daughters Nikki and Sarah. It's a blue collar work. We get out and we work and we go at it and we enjoy trying ourselves with kids and just making every day the best we can. I would like to thank the Georgia Tennis Foundation and the Hall of Fame Committee. This is just an unbelievable honor. But like I said, it's for me and my family too. And my family is bigger than just us four. First, I'd like to thank my mother and my father. My mother was a special ed teacher. She told my father, I think I was about 13 and a half, 14, been playing tennis about maybe a year, more or less in the public park system, just picking up, tennis balls and rackets and playing with whoever came along. My father always wanted me to be like my brother, who was 5 years older than me, computer genius, missed being valedictorian at high school by like 1/100th of a point. And that irritated him more than anything. My mother realized early in my life that at about 13 and a half, she looked at my father and said, John, I'm going to let you know right now, your younger son is not going to be like your older son. You let him play. You let him play. And to this day, that's one of my mottos is, get out, get some exercise, enjoy life, spend time with family and friends. And a lot of my family and friends are here. Students, parents of students that I've been very fortunate in this life. God let me have a chance to cross paths with them and make it extra special. My brother, Michael, who was in Denver, Colorado, was a leading force in pushing me. He didn't know it, but we used to play basketball one-on-one in the backyard. And I guess up until I was about a senior in high school, he always had this little finger roll going across the lane that would bounce off the backboard and go in, and boy, it drove me nuts. Unfortunately for him, graduating high school at 5'10", in the next 18 months or so, I grew about 6 to 8 inches. And he came home when I was, about 20 and did that finger roll, and it was in the next yard over. So, I looked at him and said, that was a good finger roll back in the day, but that's old school. You got to bring some up. Later went on to play, basketball at Columbus State. Really enjoyed that year. The tennis experience was great. The basketball was, a team sport, and I really enjoyed the camaraderie, especially if you get some guys that love the team atmosphere. There about the age of 14, I'm going to back up just a second. I read this little book that's still out. It's called The Inner Game of Tennis, and it made a profound effect on the way that I looked and learned. And it led me to, when I was 16, I've been playing tennis 2.5 years. I went down to Tampa to visit my brother, and he took me in this little shop there on Davis Island, and I was having my racket restrung, and I was walking in, and I was watching, and the one thing I always was really good at was watching and picking something up and then going and trying to put it in play. I saw these two pros, I don't know if they were pros, but they looked like pros to me, out there playing, and I sat down and, 15 minutes wound into 30 and 40, and all of a sudden I was there for almost 2 hours, and lo and behold, it was one of the Hall of Fame members, Armstead Neely, playing Buster Brown. Little did he know that the effect he would have on my life from there forward. And Armstead has been to Germany with you and Alice, and times hopefully are better in the future, but they've been really good in the past. My Dixie Youth baseball coach, who I have no idea where he is, taught me that when you lose a game, the next practice is not like the last one you had. It's got to get harder, it's got to get more intense, and I try at times to pass that on to my students. A lot of them have gone on to do things that I sit back at home, especially with Facebook and the media now, and I just kind of go, wow, these kids are blowing up, and if I had, a nickel of 5% of what, I put into them, then they've taken that and run with it and making me proud. There's some people that are not able to be here, but are here in spirit for sure, that have led me to be part of who I am, taught me things that they probably never, thought they were teaching me, but in my, watching and learning ways, this is what I picked up, things I picked up from them, but maybe a better person. Those people are Norm Wilkerson, a former coach here in Georgia, Billy Joe Cornett, my roommate from college, Tom Cook from Lilburn, father of one of my former students who plays for Georgia State now, and Larry Higa, my father-in-law. They all, I don't think they ever really realized what an impact and what little, even if it was 5% on a daily basis I picked up, it made me a better person. And I wish they were here, but we'll see them again one day. The David Mathews Tennis Academy. It's a small group of kids. I was talking with Alan outside earlier. It's always stayed about 10 or 12 kids, and for me that was plenty. To travel around and been to the qualifier several, 20, 30 times, and traveling around Atlanta and the Southeast with this little small band of kids sometimes. Really teaches me a lot. The most enjoyment I get out of it, like Sharon was talking about, is I love to see a kid all of a sudden blossom, through one little mental struggle they've been having, and all of a sudden, they were hesitant to go to the net, and all of a sudden they go to the net and they hit a volley, and you can see the smile on their face and the months and sometimes years of success all right there in one moment, and that's something you'll never get back. It doesn't happen over and over and over. It will. Hopefully they keep going in, but it tends to give you something that you can never be paid, not near enough for, and that's something that I don't expect to be paid for. YMCA's Georgia Tennis Program I don't know if it fell into my lap, or I don't think I filled out a resume for it 10, 11 years ago. It has something as you saw from the weeds on the photo.
Oh my God.
The first day we didn't have our weed whacker or machetes or stuff, so we called it jungle ball that day. We got it done. It was kind of fun, actually. But that program has taught me and my daughters and the small staff that we travel around the metro Atlanta area in that how lucky and fortunate we really are, because I wasn't given that some of these kids are hitting a ball at 5, 6 years old, and at that age I don't even know if I knew what a football, baseball, or basketball was. But it is one of the most phenomenal programs that I have the pleasure of coordinating. Running it, I don't think I run. I think it pretty much kind of runs itself. But the kids are the driving force behind it all, and seeing smiles on their face, even on a 95-degree Atlanta day, they still seem to smile and have fun and look forward to you showing back up the next week. And it really pays off when you're in Kroger somewhere and all of a sudden the kid goes, "That's Coach Dave," and I'm like, "What's his name? What's his name?" So you try to remember the names, but I think last year we wound up seeing, I think it was close to 11,000 kids over the summer. So 1,000 kids a week. It gets to be hard to remember some of them names. Bill McCoy, Jan Lawton, and last but not least, Nell Long. With that program, if it weren't for those three people, working in this program would be a rat race. And then Evan spearheads the foundation over here. Just the greatest band of people to work with and for that you could ask for. Truly a God gift. Last but not least, my wife, Janice, Nikki, and Sarah. I met my wife back in Denver. I was on a 10-foot ladder hanging a Bisqueen for a Halloween party. And they walking people through, "Oh, got a new staff member, Janice Higa, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I don't want to fall off the ladder. And 9 months later, we had a company volleyball team, and I knew nothing of her. She probably didn't know nothing of me, except I was a tall guy, I guess. And we walk out, and she looked at me and said, "Did you ever play volleyball?" And I said, "Well, I played a little bit in college, just intramural, stuff like that." And she goes, "Well, do you know what to shoot for it?" I said, "Well, I know what to shoot for it. That's where you, instead of it being a high lofty ball outside, it's shot straight up. So basically the hitter outside got to be in the air." And I said, "Yeah, shoot it out there. I'll take care of it." Well, she shot it out there, and I hammered the blocker in the middle of the floor right in the forehead with a spike. We crossed over and we gave each other a high five that we thought we broke each other's hands. And I knew at that time that this young lady right here has got something special going on. She's almost breaking my hand. We literally went on a couple years in a row there playing volleyball on volleyball teams 3-4 nights a week, and on and on and on. And the camaraderie and the friendship and the competitiveness that we both shared turned into us marrying each other and having 2 wonderful kids. For me to say my family is my most important thing, it's absolutely true. Anybody at Armstead can vouch. A lot of people travel around the world, and I found out early in my tennis playing career, especially back in '89 and '90 when the Nationals started happening. I was traveling around. I don't even know if I went to one tournament, but I said, I can't play well unless I'm comfortable. And I'm not comfortable unless my wife is with me, and then later on my kids. And so Mike Federley out in California, Southern California, was my doubles partner for the first part of the 90s. He became Uncle Mike to Nikki when she was born in '93, because everywhere we went, Janice had Nikki on her back, on a little carrier back there. So truly, anybody that's been around tennis tournaments that I've been in, they've seen my wife, my daughter, or daughters at times, and we travel, try to travel as much as we can. This honor is totally blowing me away. I'm totally beside myself in awe of the company that I'm getting to join over here. These guys are unbelievable, guys and ladies. I want to thank the foundation again and the Hall of Fame committee. Don't know what I did to get here, but I'll definitely keep on doing what I've been doing for the last 30, 40 years to hopefully make better things happen in Georgia. Appreciate it.